It has now been 8 months since I filmed the other videos, and 3 years after I started writing the first poem, which then morphed into a series of poems along with stories, into a one-woman show, and now into this video series. And this part of the series, the part where I make my statement to the world, kept changing. As I kept changing, as I kept doing the work to change and to manifest a new life. And oh my gosh, I manifested so many things. I've had so many incredible experiences, synchronistic events, and aha moments. I've pushed myself beyond my limits. I've gone way out of my comfort zone, which is part of the work. We have to go out of our comfort zones in order to expand. I traveled extensively. I took courses upon courses and workshops and seminars. I worked so hard to raise my frequency and to manifest a new life that by the time I got the thing I thought I had wanted, which was like only months later, it had become redundant. The thing I had manifested had been based on a limiting belief or habit that I had just gotten rid of, and I had already moved beyond it. And oh my gosh, it was such a relentless time. And I began to question what I wanted, and I struggled with the duality of my beliefs. On one hand, I had totally changed my reactions to the environment. I was now asymptomatic. I was free to travel. I was back in the world. And on the other hand, I knew that we are in the worst environmental crisis that we've ever known. And I'm watching it go on unabated and grow exponentially. And part of me wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted to walk away. I wanted to manifest a new life that had nothing to do with this story. And the other part of me felt this great responsibility. And so I struggled. And I decided that what I needed to do was to stop resisting the path my journey had taken me on and to commit to it, and no matter how uncomfortable I felt. And so I did. I registered for a course to be certified as an electromagnetic radiation specialist with the top respected school in North America, the International Institute for Building Biology and Ecology. And I knew that I would have to go way, way out of my comfort zone to not be triggered by the daily constant flow of information on the dangers of EMF or electromagnetic fields. And the course took a year. It was intense, and it did become a challenge and exercise to stay positive and joyful and not fall back into my old habits and thus re-experience the symptoms. And I had just come back from Santa Fe in February 2017 after completing the last course to get my certification, which I did get. And I was having trouble recouping from the high altitude. Santa Fe is 7,000 feet above sea level, and I live at sea level. And I was having trouble catching my breath. I was experiencing pain in my chest and abdominal areas. And after a month of multiple tests, I was diagnosed with Non-Hoddgkin's lymphoma. I had a tumor in my trachea and fluid on my lungs. And the oncologist said that it was likely that I had had this slow-growing cancer for 3 or 4 years, and that I had just had what they call a transformative event that had pushed it to stage 4, and the cancer cells were now replicating rapidly, and I had just had the fluid in my lungs drained 3 times in 10 days, and she was adamant that I start chemotherapy right away, like in a few days. And I went, whoa, 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 whoa. I delayed it for 3 weeks, and I went to my naturopath and I started high-dose alternative vitamin C IV therapies. And I quadrupled the amount of neuroscientific brain rewiring work that I had been doing. And even my naturopath insisted that I do the chemotherapy along with the alternative treatments. And this surprised me. It really took me aback. And I remember coming home that day, and I was so exhausted from the whirlwind of events. I was frustrated, I was mad, and I got swallowed up in all of these negative emotions, and I ranted and I raved and, are you friggin' kidding me? And blah, 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 and I just do that, I just do that, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and then I stopped. I just stopped. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is a gift. It's a gift. Another transformative event in my life, another one. And while I knew that it was indeed what I had been asking for with all of my questioning and conundruming, although not in the way I might have wished it, and certainly a surprise, but I knew that if I could allow it and just get out of my own way, that it would be a time of great expansion and that I would have the answers I was looking for. And I thought, wow, Lucy, stop. Just stop. Stop trying so hard to figure out what you want to be and just be. And in that moment, I went straight from my head right into my heart, just like that day with the seagull, when I had been gifted that incredible experience of what was possible. And again, my heart opened. I was filled with gratitude. I had tears streaming down my face. This incredible peace descended upon me. And I was in this state, this exquisite state of expanded awareness. I truly was the awareness of my awareness. And while I know that I don't have all the answers, the more answers I get, the more questions I have. And while I do believe that it is absolutely essential to change our perspective of the environment in order to change our limiting habits and beliefs, I also believe that our environment is changing faster than most of us can change our perspective of it. And I believe that we are gifted this planet on which we live. And that makes us stewards of the earth. It gives us a responsibility to it and to each other and to all life on it. I believe that. And we are in a time when the earth itself is a planet that is in transition, and all souls associated with earth are part of that transition. We are on a ship that is gliding through space, whose time warp is now accelerating to the highest dimensional experience possible. And every part of our bodies and every part of this earth is participating in that experience, whether we've consciously chosen it or not. And so then perhaps it really is time to go beyond ourselves even further and to look at what is in everyone's highest good and the highest good of the earth, and to make changes to our environment while we are going through this grand transformation. Did you know that we now have wireless soothers? Now this blows my mind. This is pulsed microwave radiation inside a baby's mouth, and that a child's brain absorbs about 40% more radiation than an adult brain. And that they have these wireless mats now that go under the baby's mattress. It connects to the parent's smartphone, and it senses when the baby is in distress. Again, pulsed microwave radiation into that baby all night long, as well as the decked baby monitors a few feet from the baby's heads, as well as cordless phones in our homes. Those are pulsed microwave radiation too, and they radiate 24/7, whether you're on them or not. And these frequencies, these energies are suppressing melatonin that is in our brain. And melatonin is not only a hormone that helps us sleep, but amongst other things, it's a tumor suppressor. And we don't want to be suppressing a tumor suppressor. And it's not just wireless and cell phone radiation. It's so prevalent, these electromagnetic fields, that it's affecting our electric fields and our magnetic fields. It's creating dirty electricity, and now there's ground current. I mean, perhaps, you will consider this the next time your child goes to sleep with their cell phone under their pillow. And ask yourself, is this worth the risk? Is this worth the risk of waiting for absolute scientific proof? There's already a mound of convincible scientific evidence that is not funded by cell phone companies, far outweighing the cell phone company studies that shows us the harmful biological effects of EMF on human, planetary, and animal life. Back in 2007, scientists then in the know were predicting that by 2017, and that's now, as I'm filming this, it is May 2017, that by this time, 50% of the population would have some form of electrosensitivity. And I believe that perhaps this form may not take the shape you think it might. It may instead show up as cancer, the dementias, ADD or ADHD, autism, etc. This is not about whether you feel these things or not, therefore it doesn't concern you. Electromagnetic and radio frequency radiation is called radiation for a reason. It radiates. So when we make a choice for ourselves, we make that decision for everyone around us. Do we really need to look further than our hearts to know that we've gone too far? So what can we do about it? Well, we can change our perspective on the environment to change our limiting habits and beliefs. And certainly cell phones and a lot of this technology is become a habit. And we can make different options for technology that doesn't radiate others but still keeps us connected. For example, we can choose a wired Ethernet connection over wireless. And I know everyone's objections. Oh, well, I've got tons of kids. They all have, computers, and I need the wireless. And yes, okay, well, we have technology now. Wow, we have a choice. We can actually this kit that you can send away for that uses the wires in the wall to connect to any computer you want. And so, hey, win-win. And when we go to bed at night, we can turn off our cell phones, or if you use them as alarm clock, then put them on airplane mode. Your alarm clock will still work. The phone won't radiate, the melatonin in your brain won't get suppressed. Again, a win-win situation. Airplane mode and off are the only two modes that the phone won't radiate in. Silent and vibrate do not count. We can make our homes a sanctuary that uses nature as the gold standard, that promotes healing, strengthens our immune systems, cleans up our environment, so that when we go out in the rest of the world, in the daily EMF world, we can deal with the daily stresses. That's actually what we do as building biologists and ecologists. It's a very cool job. My hope is that this video series will inspire you to do your own due diligence, to check this stuff out, to want to make changes to your environment, and to look at how we might be contributing it for the highest good for all. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot this cancer stuff. Oh my gosh, just the other week as I was writing this, I had been doing one of Dr. Joe's guided meditations on blessing the energy centers of the body. And I'd been doing it all week long, and I felt this huge shift within. And I knew that my oncologist was not going to do more CT scans until after the third chemo. And at that point, I had only done one chemo, and I had done 14 high-dose vitamin C therapies. And I wanted to know where I was at. And I live right across the border from Buffalo. So I hopped over the border. I paid for a private CT scan. My naturopath said, wow, Lucy, this is amazing. A miracle was the word that he used. My oncologist said, well, it was really, really good. Congratulations. It was way better than she had expected, and that I was up to 50% better. And I thought, okay, I'll take that. And now I'm pretty sure, now that I've actually said this piece that I have wanted to say for, 3 years, figured it out that that tumor in the trachea, well, it's gone now. I'm pretty sure. Because I know that we are all created from the same infinite intelligence that creates the entire cosmos. We are that powerful. We are limitless. Thank you for listening. Please don't go away. I do have one more poem. It is about the ego. Blessings on your day. Love you. Peace.